Hey everybody, this is Amber again, and today we are going over thesis statements. A lot of people have a lot of trouble with a thesis statement, so I'm just going to get right into it. The first question to ask is, what is a thesis statement? And some of you are rolling your eyes because this is stuff that you've gone over in class, but just bear with me for about a couple minutes and we'll get into it. A thesis statement is actually comprised of two different parts. Part one, you have your main idea, main claim, basically what you want your audience to get from your paper or your main answer. A lot of people go to this point and then they stop. And that's half of a thesis. You've got a good start, but you haven't finished it off because you need that second part. The second part, just going to space it out a little bit. The second part is how you want to support your main idea, main claim, main answer. So some people have the first part and not the second, and some people have the second part and not the first part because they've already put the first part somewhere earlier in their introductory paragraph. Just a quick note, a thesis statement should go at the end of your introductory paragraph. Some professors like to mix things up a little bit. Some put them at the end of their papers. Some put them at the very beginning of the introductory paragraph. Do whatever your teacher is asking you to do, but if your teacher hasn't specified, then it's typically going to be at the very end of your introductory paragraph. So you're like, okay, cool beans. It has your main answer. It has how you're going to support it. What does that mean for me? So the first thing you're usually going to have is your prompt or your question or whatever, what have you. So for me, if my mom this is the question I'm going to be answering in essay format. So I need to figure out how I'm going to plan my essay, but most importantly, I need to figure out how I'm going to plan my thesis. My mom asks me, should your little sister have ice cream? Here's my answer or my main claim. We all know that no isn't a thesis statement. We wish it could be that simple. It is not. I'm sorry. Okay, so we have my answer, my main claim. My answer at first was no. But if no one knew what the question was, then they weren't going to understand what I was saying no to. So my answer has to be in slightly more Englishy terms. My little sister should not have ice cream. You don't need to know what the question is in order to see the answer. Cool beans. Is that a thesis? Well, it has the main idea, but it doesn't have how I'm going to prove it. Why does that matter? Because you could basically imagine a small child running through that door, knocking it down, glaring at me with all of her little sister powers and saying, I should have ice cream. And she will fight with me, and she will argue with me, and that's something I don't want. I'm tired. I'm a college student. I don't have time for that. So in my thesis, I have to say why first before I can get knocked over by a small child of smallish proportions. So what are some reasons? What are some reasons she shouldn't have ice cream? Ice cream is expensive. Let's say it just costs a bunch. Sugar is bad for kids. She's lactose intolerant. Okay, so can we put all of that into one sentence? Well, not as it is right now. My little sister shouldn't have ice cream. Ice cream is expensive, sugar bad for kids, lactose intolerant. It doesn't make a very cohesive sentence, or it doesn't flow well. So I'm just going to open up a new blank page. It's pretty, it's open. I get to do whatever I want with this empty page. My sister should not have ice cream. And below it, I'm just going to put in my reasons. Ice cream is expensive. And from here, you get to play. As long as you have all of these elements in your sentence, boom, you have a thesis. It has your main idea, which is my sister should not have ice cream. It also has your reasons for that. Ice cream is expensive, sugar is bad for kids, lactose intolerant. So because ice cream is expensive, sugar is bad for kids, and she is lactose intolerant, my sister should not have ice cream. That's a thesis statement. You can also say should not. Whoops. Either one of these would work just as well as the other. But one thing I want you to notice, I'm just going to color these in pretty colors because it's easier to describe with colors. Red, blue, and just going to go with green because green is an easier color to see. Ice cream is expensive, sugar is bad for kids, and she's lactose intolerant. I am not explaining anything in my thesis. I am not explaining why ice cream is expensive. I am not explaining why sugar is bad for kids. I am not explaining the whole lactose intolerant thing. Zip from me in this thesis. Where would you explain these things? You would explain these things in your body paragraphs. How you're going to prove your main point, those all need to be explained. And you do that in your body paragraphs. You do that with evidence. You do that with research. You do that by fleshing out your idea. So each of these 3 items gets its own body paragraph that you then have to go forward and just explore and delve into. That's why some people say that the thesis statement is something like a roadmap or how you're going to do your paper or something else like that. In reality, your thesis statement is basically your brainstorming at this point if you want to go for it. So up here is my brainstorming. Ice cream is expensive. Prove with research. Sugar is bad for kids. Prove with research. Lactose intolerant. Explain what this is. So while you've gone and made your thesis and you've figured out how you want to write that, you've also in the process done some brainstorming, and all of a sudden you have a roadmap yourself to follow while you write this paper. At least that's how I do it. So far, this has just been a very quick thing, but a thesis is your main point and how you want to prove your main point or how you're going to support your main point. And that's all there is to a thesis statement. So I hope this video was super helpful for you. If you need any more help, you are more than welcome to talk to a tutor over Zoom. I look forward to working with you guys. Good luck. Bye.